Our book relates to school climate. The first book we have, Reframing the Pathway of School Leadership, will be discussed by Kosmicki, Davis, and Weber. The second book, The Innovator's Mindset, Marishaw. The Growth Mindset Coach, Edwards, and Motivating and Inspiring Teachers, Mark Smith. The first book we're going to talk about is Reframing the Path to School Leadership. In the beginning of the book, there's a quote that states, "Your first challenge as a savvy professional is to figure out the lay of the land. You need a map to make sense of a confusing and messy terrain so that you can master what's really going on and figure out your best options. You have to have mental lenses that help you define and frame your reality." The Chinese character in the middle of the page is the example they use in the beginning of the book to illustrate that without these lenses, you would go around seeing things in a blur or not fully understand your surroundings. It would seem like a foreign language. So unless you knew Chinese, you would not understand the Chinese character. You need to have good mental tools to help you decipher everyday life in your school or to understand the school climate. There are 4 mental frames or lenses to help you see clearly in your school environment. The first one is political, the second is human resources, the third is structural, and the fourth is symbolic. Davis is going to go a little bit into political, and Weber's going to go a little bit more into structural. Lastly, I would like to talk about the main characters in the book that are the book is written like a novel that tells a story of these characters that most schools can relate to. At the end of each chapter, there are also reflection questions that can be used to self-reflect and be used as a group discussion tool. Some of the characters, you have a new principal, a new teacher, a veteran teacher, a former principal, a burned out veteran, and a veteran principal.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the political frame. A quote from the book is, "Schools are political because they are inevitably a loose collection of different individuals and groups with enduring differences in backgrounds, beliefs, and agendas. There is never enough time, money, or human energy to give everyone all they want. The interplay of different interests and scarce resources inevitably leads to conflict. There are strategies that we can employ to help resolve conflict. You are more effective when you have both a vision of where you want to go and a strategy for getting there. The better your relationships, the more likely you are to build support and diffuse opposition. Open a dialogue with them. Listen, understand what they think and what they care about. Acknowledge importance of their views, encourage them to do the same, to talk with people with whom they disagree. Unresolved conflict usually festers and gets worse. People need a chance to voice their concerns and to hear those of other people. Otherwise, differences descend into personal animosity and backstabbing. When you know what you and other key players want, then you are ready to talk about win-win solutions."
The structural framework is one way to address problems in projects. In a classroom or school, people like to know where they're headed, who's in charge, what they're supposed to do, and how their efforts relate to others. Putting eager students or talented teachers into a confusing system wastes their energy and undermines their effectiveness. This book explains the 4 sides of the structure. First, you need to clarify the roles. Who is responsible? Who needs to be consulted? Or who needs to be informed? Second, you need to design groups for success. Groups need to know their task and how they will be judged. Third, set or clarify goals. Have explicit and measurable goals to a clear target. And finally, shape a structure that fits the task. A well-defined structure brings out the best in people.
My book, The Innovator's Mindset, Empowering Learning, Unleash Talent, and Lead a Culture of Creativity. In The Innovator's Mindset, George Couros encourages teachers and administrators to empower their learners to wonder, to explore, and to become forward-thinking leaders. After reading this book, you will be inspired to embrace change and to do something amazing. Here are a few important points from the book. First, what kids should do with technology. There are right answers and wrong answers. These will be shared later, with a statement that technology is a tool, not a learning outcome. What teachers do with technology. There are good answers and better answers. Those will be shared later as well. Technology is a tool, not a leadership outcome. The networked teacher resource page has the teacher in the center, followed by important factors in improving the classroom environment. These will be shared later. 8 things to look for in today's classroom. These are important factors to help the teacher work well in the classroom. These will be shared later as well. Kids should be empowered, not engaged. Engaging students means getting students excited about content, interest, and curriculum. Empowering students means giving kids the knowledge and skills to pursue their passions, interests, and future. Kids need to be empowered, not engaged. Students should become problem solvers. I think, I question, I design, I create, I struggle, I collaborate, I try, I solve, I invent, I reflect, I learn.
Here are some concepts that you will learn from reading my book, The Growth Mindset Coach. Understanding the difference between a growth mindset, the belief that with practice, effort, and perseverance, people have unlimited potential to learn and grow, versus fixed mindset, the belief you are born with a fixed amount of ability and intelligence. Our brain is a muscle that grows, and understanding how it grows. The value of student, teacher, parent, colleague relationships and how that impacts learning and growing. And the importance of sending parent growth-oriented communication, called growth messages. Educational challenges and high expectations are both important characteristics of a growth-oriented classroom. The importance in the classroom to work on process praise, example, stating to a child, you worked really hard on this, versus person praise, example, you're smart. And teaching students use this praise with their peers. Understand that setting goals and creating a plan are very important in a growth-oriented classroom. Making mistakes and overcoming obstacles are a part of the path of mastery. Teaching students the power of yet. A lot can be read into the word fail. It implies you are finished or done. But what if you use the word yet? That seems more magical and conveys better things are to come. And finally, the importance of giving students the skills to use growth mindset in their educational and personal lives when they leave the classroom.
My book, Motivating and Inspiring Teachers, the Educational Leadership Guide for Building Staff Morale, focused on 3 main concepts. The first concept, collaboration before implementation. This concept is important because it focuses on administrators acknowledging to incorporate teachers in both the hiring process and any changes that takes place throughout the school so that they are more receptive to any of those changes that affect them on a day-to-day basis. The second concept, which is celebrating teachers both publicly and privately. I use this picture here with the description at the top. To the world, you may be just a teacher, but to your students, you are a hero. Basically what this means is a lot of times teachers spend lots of hours doing things both in the public as well as behind the scenes for their students. This is important. It is important that administrators celebrate this both publicly, whether it be at staff meetings or at any social events that may take place during school hours, as well as maybe emails or text messages. The more teachers are celebrated, the more positive they feel towards helping out their students. The next concept, if we teach together, why not have some fun together? The book focused on making sure that teachers, while spending lots of time working on grading papers and developing lesson plans, it also said that it's important for them to get together and socialize so that they build both personal relationships as well as professional relationships.
The School Climate Video Subgroup really enjoyed working together and creating this video for you. We hope you will be inspired to use some of these ideas expressed in this video to enhance learning in your classrooms. Our assigned books basically explore the ideas of improved teaching styles, improvements in understanding of the importance of technology, a shared vision from staff and leadership, as well as fostering student creativity and learning. These ideals are paramount in working to improve the school climate.